Every crocheter knows what it's like to feel as though they have no yarn, which is the equivalent to, I have nothing to wear, or I have no good books. My yarn pile has officially gotten too high, so instead of buying more yarn, I'm gonna use what I have.
Oh, that's crooked. So setup's a little interesting. There's a lot going on here. Don't look at that. You know, maybe we should just maybe we should just go this way. Maybe that's worse. I haven't done this in a really long time, so I just finished my first year of university. Finished that. Crushed it, by the way. While I was in school, I kept buying yarn, and then I realized I didn't have any time to do anything with the yarn, so this video is mainly inspired by my mother, and I'll tell you why. If you know anything about me, I have a lot of hobbies, and my mom always tells me, Alicia, you got too much on your plate. As you know, I used to do special effects makeup, and I set up my makeup studio in my sister's room because she's in New York for school. She's coming back home next Friday, so I had to take that whole thing down and find somewhere in my room to put it. But my room's already full because I have too many hobbies. As a way of like getting back into my yay, crocheting and sorting through everything here, I thought for once, instead of just going out and buying a bunch of yarn and making projects, even though I already have a huge bucket of yarn here, I'm gonna force myself to make stuff with what I already have. So I have this huge bin here full of yarn. It's like half yarn, half projects. For example, I have this yarn here, and you may be thinking, oh, Alicia, there's so many things you could do with this. See, I already bought this with a project in mind. I bought this a couple weeks ago, and I was gonna make a sweater vest that I saw someone make on TikTok, and I made it way too small for myself. I learned that I have to make this a lot bigger, and I probably need to use a different yarn. Or maybe I could just use this yarn. I am just gonna use this yarn. Because why? I'm just gonna use this yarn. What the heck? Why am I going out to buy more? See, this is great that we're talking through this. So, I have this massive ball of yarn here. This is the first ball of yarn that I bought. I don't know what to do with it. I didn't know anything about crocheting. I just bought this thinking that this was what I was supposed to use. And it's not exactly the thing I'm supposed to use for the vision that I have. So if someone could help me figure out what to do with this, because I know a lot of people are gonna say oh, make a blanket, but then I have to buy 8 more of these, which I don't want to do. So if anyone knows any projects that I can make with this, with just the one ball, I would very much so appreciate it. The left side of this bin is now just all of my previous projects that I've made, outlets, there's buttons in here. Yeah, so it's all my past projects, and then the right side is all the other yarn. I have cotton yarn, a lot of it, so I was planning on just making a bunch of coasters. Let's start this mess in the bag. I finished this bag, and it has this flap. It's gonna go over because there's a lot of holes here. When you make granny squares, there's holes. I thought it would be a good idea for me to line the bag. So I bought fabric and a zipper, but I've never lined a bag before. So I also decided to get rid of all my social media. So I can't search up a tutorial because I don't have YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. There's a lot of ends that I have to weave in. I'm really not in the mood to do that. So I think I'm just gonna fabric glue them shut instead. Hey, it's been a little bit of a hot sec. I haven't really crocheted, but I did finally finish the duffel bag. I know I didn't film a lot of me making it, so I'm just gonna show this TikTok here of me making it. And hopefully that's enough. I do plan to check in a lot more with my projects now. That one was just there was a lot of things going wrong with this bag that I didn't know how to troubleshoot because I was off of social media. And all I had was a written pattern that I made, but I don't know how to write patterns, so it was interesting. The next project I'm going to be working on is I have this leftover yarn from that. I don't know if this is going to be enough, but I'm willing to find spare yarn in my bucket to add in here and also use. But my cousin sent me like a couple of tops and she was like, do you think you could make this for me? I was like, at the time I was in school, so I was like, I don't know, kind of busy right now. She's like, you don't have to make it now, that's totally cool, just like eventually. And I said, yeah, for sure. I'm not really 100% sure if I can make the top, but she sent me a couple pictures and I feel like I have a good idea of how to freehand it. This is gonna be my first like free-handed project. But I'm gonna be making this top. I'm not gonna be making it with her measurements. I'm gonna be making it with my measurements. I'm gonna make the top for me, just so I can make sure that I can make the top, and then I'll tell her like, yeah, I can do it. Tell me what color you want and I'll make it. So let's get straight into it. I've been working on this top. I've been freehanding it until I realized I don't know what I'm doing. And because of that, I'm not the kind of person that just restarts right away. I'm like, I need a second. I'm gonna get rid of that. It's like it doesn't want to let me go. And we're going to the bin because for my own sanity, I need a break. So this is my next project. You may think, Alicia, be so for real, that is so small. I know. I saw this bag and I really want to make it. I was like, screw it. I'm not gonna use my scrap yarn, I'm gonna buy the yarn. I bought this and they didn't have the yellow color that I wanted to use. And then while I was dreaming, I remembered like, I have this. So I could use this for the yellow part instead because the yellow part's pretty tiny, like I don't need a lot of it. Well, technically I am using my scrap yarn, but I also did just buy a whole thing of yarn as well. And I was, funny enough, I was also gonna buy a 10mm crochet hook, and I found one in my drawer. Isn't that so silly of me?